I welcome you once again to the third day of celebration, because this week we are celebrating Intercultural Week. And today I've got with me Sean and Elsa from the Malta Scout Association. Hello, Sean, and hello, Elsa. And I've got Mahmoud as well from the Pakistani Community in Malta. Hello, Mahmoud. How are you guys? It's very nice to see you all together. This Intercultural Week this week has been really, really interesting. I've got to know loads about Maltese culture, which I didn't know about, and also about foreign culture. And I'm going to start by asking my first question. And my first question goes to Mahmoud. Mahmoud, what do you think is in your opinion, which is the most tradition that makes you stand out as a Pakistani with other countries? Is there like a particular celebration?
Actually, we have a lot of traditional activities in our country, but as every country or every culture have their own celebration, but we have special celebration is in our country is when the season starts and when the season finish. So they do celebrations in the country. There is the food festivals even in the country, all maybe 3 or 4 times in a year.
And do you still celebrate them while you are here in Malta? Does the Pakistani community still celebrate those festivities?
Honestly speaking, I think it's people don't celebrate here in Malta because people are here in Pakistan. Pakistani people living here in Malta, they are all involved in doing jobs. So they are busy, but they don't do any their own cultural activity. But whenever we have invited for culture events, we always participate and we share our culture through these events.
Good. I don't know if Sean and Elsa have any questions to ask to you, Mahmoud. Elsa, Sean?
So Mahmoud, how large is the community, the Pakistani community in Malta? Is it it's quite a large community?
We have around 2,000 to 3,000 people in Malta, and they are mixed community like Muslim and Christian, but mostly are Christians and mostly are in medical field.
Maybe Elsa would like to ask something then, because I know that Elsa is studying medicine.
Hi, I'm in the medical field. I'm studying to be a doctor. Are you in the medical field?
I'm not actually in the medical field, yes. But as Elsa is in medical, she knows that there are a lot of Pakistani we can find in everywhere in hospitals, in elderly home. A lot of people, almost 90% people are working in medical field.
Yes, definitely. And it's such an important contribution to our hospital. The human resource is really important, and sometimes we see that we lack in the amount of people that we have, and it's really good that we have a contribution from the Pakistani community.
Mahmoud, do you think it is difficult for someone from Pakistan to live in Malta?
When you say difficult to live in Malta, in which sense? Can I ask you?
Yeah, sure. Like, for example, I know that there are a lot of things going on in Pakistan, like festivities, as we mentioned, and maybe living in a European country and you coming from another continent, one can definitely see the differences between the two continents. Let me just direct the question to you. Was it difficult for you to settle down here in Malta?
For me, I didn't find any difficult, but this is depend on the situation. What kind of situation the person is living? Is like a domestic job he's doing? He's doing what kind of job he's doing? So it's depend on the person who living here. For me, as a personal, I have no like any problems like cultural problems or uh, any like living in Malta. It's not difficult for me because I know the language. I know learning. I have learning ability. If I'm living here, I love to adopt the things wherever I am. So this is about me, but I cannot say about other people. But the first of all thing is language. So I know the language what is speaking here in Malta. Like let's say the Maltese language. The first my language is Maltese, and the second language is English. So I know how to speak English. It's not like even my not first language, so I can communicate. And even I love to learn the Maltese language, and I learned and I speak a little bit to communicate with people. So it's not difficult for me.
How would you
Am I
say,
clear?
like, for example, my name is Sarah in your language? Because that would sound very, very, you know, different for sure. Like for Maltese, we say "Jien jisimni Sarah." How would I say that in your language? Or actually, let's say my name is Sean. Let's put it on Sean.
Yeah, so you can say like मेरा नाम शान है, or you can say मेरा नाम सारा है.
Okay.
Is
Sean, do
this
you have any
the
questions
question?
to Mahmoud? Sorry.
So Mahmoud, why Malta? What do you love about Malta? Is there something that you particularly love about our country?
Uh, Honestly speaking, uh, I I I trust God actually. So wherever I go, I feel like it's all planned, you know. So I love Malta. I feel like this is my second home because I'm far from my original home, but I feel that Malta is my second home. So I love Malta. It's a very beautiful country, even though we have mm, more beautiful than places in Pakistan. But as I am here, I love Malta. I love every part of Malta, and I have discovered Malta in last 7 years.
Mahmoud, is there anything in particular in Malta that reminds you of home?
Uh, Actually, I have a lot of friends here in Malta, Maltese locals, and even foreigners. So I feel like home because the people are friendly. I can talk with anyone, and I feel like home. I can go anywhere.
That is very, very nice
Am,
to hear that someone
am
from
I
another
clear?
country feels at home in Malta.
Exactly. Thank you.
Elsa, can you give us some information about the Malta Scout Association? I know that you are a very active member within the Malta Scout Association, and
Yes.
also share and enlighten Mahmoud about this organization.
Okay, so the Scout Association of Malta, it's a 3,500 member organization. We do literally anything. So we have 41 groups across the Maltese Islands, including Gozo. So they all have their own autonomy and they all do different things. But the common, I think, how I would describe the common factor is that it's active. Whatever you're doing, you're always doing something, you're always learning. And the skills you take from Scouts, there are things that you'll use throughout your life. So it's a lot about teamwork, a lot about leadership, a lot about being in different situations and being able to adapt.
Sean, how do you celebrate intercultural traditions within the Scouts Association?
Well, first of all, we do believe in international events. We also organize international events in Malta. For example, in 2018, we organized the first ever big camping in Malta. We saw people coming from different countries, and that was a huge celebration of interculturalism. And we also do attend particular events around the world. It's worth mentioning that Scouting is a worldwide movement. It's comprised around about 50 million members. So it's quite a large movement, as you can see. So yes, we do love interculturalism, and we do learn from each other. Every association, every country celebrates Scouting in its own way. But once you delve deeper, you can see that all the values are the same. We have the same principles, the same laws, the same promise, and that's what makes us a one big association united together. But amongst all, interculturalism, it's a huge factor. We do learn from each other. We love attending such events around the world. For example, a small tradition is that we exchange badges or even scarves. For example, a scout from UK or Brazil, whatever, and we do exchange badges from the Maltese community to the Brazil community, or we also exchange the scarves. We do love badges, so you can imagine when we collect and swap badges from around the world. It's a unique thing as well.
Cool. So this is the Scout Association can well, it has its doors open as well to the Pakistani community living in Malta, no, as well.
Yes, for sure. Maybe Mahmoud knows. Is there any association in Pakistan? I'm not sure of it. I think so, though. Maybe Mahmoud knows.
Yes, we do have scouts in Pakistan.
And do you? I believe that all of the organizations then practice the same values, right?
I think so, yes. All around the world, the scouts have the same values. Yeah, they practice the same value.
Elsa, do you have any questions for Mahmoud?
Going back to the previous conversation, because I was interested to ask, is there anything from Pakistan that you miss that you don't find in Malta?
Actually, there are things I miss. First of all, I miss family, but as I told you before, I feel like home in Malta. So in fact, I don't miss anything because it's everything is available here. Vegetables, fruits we can find here. We can go wherever we want. There are no restrictions. We can make friends. It's same like home. So I don't feel missing anything living in Malta.
Maybe a question to Sean and Elsa, sorry. Is there anything particular that makes you feel Maltese? That, like, for example, there's a particular dish or a particular song that you can associate it with Maltese culture, and you would say, yes, this song makes me feel Maltese, or when I eat this dish makes me feel Maltese.
I think when you ask that question, the first thing that came to mind is when you're at a Maltese wedding, you know, half the people there from different backgrounds, and the song Shemsh comes on, and everyone knows it, everyone's singing. It's such a family feeling. It's such a community feeling. I think that is the perfect way to describe it. Even when, for example, I've been abroad recently for an international event, and at a point we were in a large bus, and the 8 of us that were Maltese just started singing Shemsh, and that feeling of pride, that feeling of community, that feeling of we're a small nation but we're a united nation. I think that is really the way I would answer.
What about you, Sean?
Continuing with Elsa, I do believe that we're a small island, a tiny island, but with a big heart. I love the fact that we're quite generous people, and worth mentioning as well the sea that surrounds us. Obviously, you can't visit Malta and not pop by a beach or something. It's because I mean, it's something that Maltese surely love. The beaches, all the sea, the nice weather. I think that's a very unique thing about Malta as well.
One question to Mahmoud. Maybe this will be the last question as well, because we're running out of time. If you had to leave Malta, Mahmoud, what would you take with you from Malta? What would you still remember of Malta?
Actually, as I mentioned before, that I don't miss anything here, because here I can find the same weather back home, same, we have vegetable, even the same similar language, because the Maltese is similar to Arabic, and our Urdu language is similar to Arabic as well. So we find a lot of similar words in Maltese language in from our Urdu language. So it's I when I go back to my home, and I will take the what you say, the love of this country, friendship that Maltese have for foreigners.
Thank you so much, Mahmoud. So I think now is the time for us to conclude this conversation, unfortunately. I thank you very much, and I encourage all the young people out there and other people who would like to communicate with the Malta Scout Association and the Pakistani community to do so. And I wish you all a good evening, and thank you for being with us. And let's celebrate the diversity that each and everyone has. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.